Good morning and welcome back to another video. I have woken up on an industrial estate in Kingstainton, and this morning the weather's looking dry but dull.
First thing I do is check my levels on the dash.
I've just hopped out to do my daily checks.
Now that the mornings are getting lighter, it's so much easier to do the daily checks, and it's also warmer and drier than it has been in recent months.
This morning I'm going to a quarry about 15 minutes down the road to pick up a load of stone to go to Corfmullin. Corfmullin is kind of Sturminster Marshall, Wimborne Minster direction. It's only a small little place, and then I have no idea where I'm going next. So you will be just as surprised as me. I've filled out my daily checks book, and now it's time to go to the quarry, but I think I'm going to struggle to get out of this space because people have parked really tight up to my truck when they actually haven't needed to. There's plenty of space behind that van to give me an extra couple of foot.
And here I am sporting my fed up yet still concentrating face, and I'm hoping it's not going to take me too many shunts to get out. This is looking like the last one before I am free. I head out of the industrial estate, where I've had a nice quiet sleep last night, and head up the A381 towards the quarry. This takes me out to a little place called Ipplepen, and Ipplepen has a carnival club that takes part in the Bridgewater Carnival circuit. Carnival carts are not allowed on motorways, so they bring the cart all the way from down here 60 miles up to Bridgewater on A roads. As you can see, the lanes down to the quarry are quite narrow, and in some parts it's awkward to meet a car. So the thing that I don't want to do is meet another lorry on its way out. But luckily when I do, it's passable, and then I'm straight into the quarry.
Here we go.
Even though a couple of trucks came in front of me, I don't have to wait too long for the weighbridge.
Hiya. I'm after a load to Corfmullin. Yeah. Perfect, thank you. Oh, God knows which ones are in date and out of date. I seem to do one every week.
Scan that one. This one here, slight induction. Yeah.
Yeah. Think so.
Site inductions run out after 12 months, and we need to do a site induction for every quarry we visit.
Right, Gemma. It's not Gemma, is it?
Yeah.
Gemma, can I move you off?
Yeah, that's right.
Finish it in there a minute.
Yeah.
And then once you've finished,
yeah,
you can go straight up.
Oh, I do.
You're here.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go up the slope,
yeah,
just drive straight up.
Perfect. Thank you.
Someone pulled up behind me as I was doing the induction, so I've been asked to move to the lorry park to complete it. I can see the weighbridge from here, and once I have confirmation that I've passed, I can go on up to load. After all that, I've passed my induction, so I can go and get loaded.
Come up this hill and turn to the right and go to pile 6.
I find the pile that I need, but there is somebody else waiting for the same product, so I turn myself around and wait behind him.
I think I'm in the right place. Yeah, I think I'm in the right place. My turn to get loaded. Wait for it. Oh, he's weighing it. Oh, that was very, very gentle. Just a little wobble. Sometimes it'd go in like this. And what they do is they pick up a bucket and then put their bucket up, and that weighs the bucket of stone, and then they put it in the truck so they know how much they're loading me with, rather than me having to put the body up to see the weight and getting out. And now that that's loaded, it's back to the weighbridge to go and weigh out. It looks like there's a bit of a queue. Never mind. I'll leave a bit of space here for people coming out.
Whilst I'm here waiting, I'd like to talk to you about BetterHelp, who I've entered into a paid partnership with. Lately, I've talked a lot about how hard it is to be healthy in the trucking industry, and this includes our mental health.
In the last few years, it's been great to see how many men and women in the industry have openly talked about their mental health. This is a job where we spend the large majority of our week alone, which means that we can sometimes sit there and think about our personal problems all day, day after day. You may think that you don't want to burden your friends and family, or that they won't understand. You may know that you need help, but believe it's impossible to get help doing this job, so you just carry on. This is a job where we miss out on so many things: birthdays, anniversaries, parents' evenings, and we put off making any kind of appointments. I haven't even been to the hairdressers for around 15 years. But this is now where things can change for us. BetterHelp provides therapy to wherever you are, from a phone or computer, via phone call, video or messaging, however you feel most comfortable talking. When you sign up to BetterHelp, you will be asked a few questions, and they will usually match you with a professional therapist within 48 hours who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. When I talk to somebody about things that are bothering me, I feel happier, calmer and less anxious. I become more productive and I make less mistakes when I have less on my mind to worry about. If you follow my link to BetterHelp or choose Gemma Warren during sign up, you can enjoy some special discount on your first month. Need to go for a well wash. Don't like going through well washes. I'll put my sheet on as well. This is recycled water, so it will leave like a dirty film on the truck. It says Arctic's no left turn because it is tight down there and there is a low bridge that I will not get under, and I can get under most bridges. I don't need a ticket for this load because it's all done via an app, and the app is actually very easy to use, unlike some apps that companies give us where you're literally there just trying to download everything for hours on end.
The only way out of the quarry is the way that I came in, but this time I'm heading uphill on the narrow roads, and I'm loaded. For some reason, I seem to meet an abundance of cars, and I'm starting to think there's either a school down here, or there's a workplace where they all start at the same time in the morning. I'm not sure if I've ever been to this quarry first thing in the morning, so I'm not even sure if this is normal. Luckily, it's not too much hassle to get around the cars, and before long I'm back onto the main road. I take the A381 back towards Newton Abbot, and the traffic is starting to build up here too. I go through a few sets of lights and then around the roundabout to get on to the A380. The A380 is a dual carriageway that will take me all the way up to the A38, going northbound. I'm only on the A38 for a short while before merging on to the M5. I only need to go up the M5 2 junctions, but yet I managed to find some traffic. However, this is quite normal for this time in the morning coming up to Exeter, so I'm pretty confident that it's nothing more than just a build-up of traffic at this time in the morning. And I was right, and it doesn't take me long to get through. I get off at junction 29 for the A30 towards Honiton. At Honiton, I take the road round the edge of town onto the A35. On a clear day, you can sometimes see the sea from the A35, but today it is a little overcast. I stay on the A35 until Beer Regis, where I pick up the A31, and then head right around the roundabout to pick up the A350. This journey has taken me almost 2.5 hours, and the last little stretch up to the yard that I'm tipping in is down a narrow lane again, although not quite as narrow as this morning. When I get to the entrance, it looks like I'm waiting in a little queue for a while. It doesn't take long to clear, and it's not long before it's my turn to get onto the weighbridge.
Hiya. I've got some 20ml.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Okay, so if you literally head into that loading area just there on your left,
Yeah.
and then a shovel will show you where to tip. I'll let them know you're
Ah,
coming
right.
in, alright?
Yeah, do I need to weigh out? Well, I suppose
No.
I'm not even on the weighbridge, am I?
No,
Properly?
this one's too short, but no,
Yeah.
you're all good. Once you've tipped, you can just go.
Oh, I do.
Alright.
Perfect, thank you.
Bye.
My truck was too long for the weighbridge, so they take the weight from where I came from. And now I just need to speak to somebody about where I need to tip this load. There are a few people in the yard, but they all look quite busy at the moment. And then I spot somebody who looks like they've just become free. So I pop out and go and have a little chat with him. I take my phone with me as this load is all done through an app, and all the information about this load is on that app. I went and asked the shovel driver where I needed to tip this. It's 20ml lime. He said, oh, I don't know where that is. And I said, well, is there anybody that would know? He said, yeah, a bloke who used to do this job, but he's left. Well, that's helpful, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sat here at the moment just waiting to find out where I need to tip this.
Luckily, he finds a colleague that does know where this needs to be tipped. So I jump back into the cab and I back around into the bay where he's told me to tip. And although I have 20ml lime on my ticket, at this yard they call this particular stone Devon Pink. Once I feel like I'm happy with my positioning, I jump out and go to the back to make sure. I open my tailboard and I just have a quick look inside to make sure the load is in the right place for tipping and that it matches what is in the bay. Then I can jump back in the cab and start tipping the body up. As I'm lifting the body, I'm also checking my mirrors and my onboard weigher to see how much stone is coming out. And as it starts coming out, I will move forward slowly so that there is enough room for all of the stone to come out. When there's nothing left in the trailer, I put the body down and then I go to the back to check that it is all come out.
I actually thought this was going to be really messy when it came out, but actually it's not too bad. But I'm going to give it a quick squeegee just to make sure.
By using the squeegee, I'm getting all the wet bits up, which should mean that my next load won't get stuck to the floor.
Just need to get rid of all these little stones as well, so they don't fly out and hit somebody's windscreen. Right, that's that done, and I have rung the office to find out what I'm doing next, and I'm going over to a farm not very far from here. So I'm going to head back towards Dorchester. It's near Dorchester. Go and get a load of barley. Can my sheep come over or not? My sheep won't go over. Turn my beacons off. And then here.
I hopped out to see why my sheet wouldn't go on, and it was because the Anderson lead had become disconnected. Thank goodness it was an easy fix. I head out of the quarry lane and back onto the A31, up to Beer Regis where I take the A35. As I'm heading around the Dorchester bypass, I take a left onto the A352. I head down this road for a couple of miles until I come to the lane on the left that I need to take, which is also a weight limit. But because the farm is on this road, I do have access rights. The farm comes up on my right hand side and the entrance is quite narrow, so I need to take a wide swing out before I pull in, and I still manage to brush the hedge. This farm has a weighbridge, so the first thing I do is pull up onto the weighbridge.
Can't see anyone here at the moment, but I'm sure there is somebody close.
And while I'm waiting, I'm just going to enjoy the sun peering through the clouds. It wasn't long before somebody turned up. He waved me in and then told me where he wanted me to park so that he could load me. Once I'm in position, I take my sheet off and I'm ready to load. The farmer has quite a big bucket on this handler, so it doesn't take too long to load at all. We're also at that time of year where farmers want to clear their grain stores, ready for this year's harvest.
When I weighed in, the farmer gave me the passport already, so at least I can fill that out, and then when I'm done I can just go.
And once I'm loaded, I head back towards the weighbridge.
I've just weighed out and now it's time to get down the road a bit, although I'm not going to get very far as I have 41 minutes left until I need a break.
So my plan is to get as far as I can before I stop.
It is a lovely day, but it is still a bit breezy.
Getting out of the farm doesn't seem to be quite as tight as getting in, and I head back the way that I came in, towards the A352, and follow that back up towards Dorchester, where I'll pick up the A35 towards Exeter. There are a few laybys between Dorchester and Bridport that I know that I can stop for a break in, so my plan is to head for one of them. I can't get into the first one that I come across, so I'm hoping that the next lay-by along will be free. Thankfully, it looks like I will get in between the two vans.
Thank goodness I got in a lay-by at last.
And actually, I don't think I could have picked a better lay-by.
Definitely a nicer place to park up than some. Although I don't really feel like I need a break, I just have to have a break. I'd rather get on, get this tipped and go and find somewhere to have a shower. Or if I could have stopped somewhere where I could have a shower, that would have been even better. Unfortunately, doing farm work and being on the extremities of the country, you have no chance of finding a shower some days. While I'm enjoying the view, I'm also going to have my smoothie that I made on Sunday evening, and it's now Tuesday.
Where to speed. Drive safely.
Right, that's my break over. So let's get down to Exeter where this is going, if I can get out the lay-by.
It's lucky it's a day where I didn't want to stop for fuel, as another bulker pulled in before me. I keep following the A35 until I get to Honiton, where I take the A30 all the way up to Exeter. And the mill I'm tipping at is on an industrial estate this side of Exeter.
Looks like it's quite busy in here. 2 of the 3 pits are being occupied and there's 2 waiting. And I think barley only goes on 1 of those pits. If there's somebody already on the weighbridge as well, I could be waiting even longer. Yep, there's somebody on the weighbridge as well, so might be here for a little while.
He was just finishing as I pulled up, so I can go straight on to the weighbridge.
I'm going to put my high vis on, open my sheet, because they will spear the load, test it. You don't actually speak to anyone here. I take my paperwork in, and in the little office there, I put all my details into the computer, and then the computer will tell me which pit I need to tip on. So I've got my ticket and the grain passport, and I can go and find out if I can tip.
Here you can see that I'm underweight by 120 kilos, which is just about right. I enter my details into the computer, then wait for quality control to allocate me a bay. This has taken a really long time and I'm starting to worry that there's something wrong with the barley. And then thank goodness my bay number pops up.
Right, sheet on, because it's raining, don't want to get the barley wet. And now it's off round to the intake bays to try and work out who is next in line and when I can go on. Oh, one of the pollards turned up behind me. He's going to be waiting even longer. If I didn't have to have my break, would I have got here and gone straight on the pit? Who knows?
As I pull round, the one on pit 2 has got his body down, so I'm hoping that he's just finishing rather than just starting. I pull up next to the trucks that are waiting, and I signal to them to find out which bays that they are on. And it must be my lucky day. Neither one of them are waiting for pit 2, and the chap that was on there is just finishing, which means as soon as he pulled off, I could back onto the bay. I take it steady as I go back, as these bays have doors on them that are opened by sensors when you back up close to them. The bays are also quite narrow and there's not much space down either side. When I weighed in, I picked up a little card that I need to scan, and that will start the pit up. Once the pit started, I can raise the body up by a few rams, and then I can open the grain hatch. Barley is quite an easy product to tip and will only take around half an hour. I have absolutely no idea where I'm going next, so I'm going to ring the office and just give them a heads up that I will be finished in around half an hour. I keep checking my weigher to see how much weight I've got left on, and when it gets to the end I can start to pack away. Taking off the grain sock and folding it neatly so that it will fit well on the side of my trailer, and then I can open the twist locks and release the tailboard. I give the trailer a sweep out and I sweep up the pit to make sure it's nice and neat for the next driver. And then I can shut the tailboard up so it's safe and secure for my next load. And I brush off any excess grain that is hanging around on the back of the truck. I also head to the cab to put the body down. Before I go, I press clean out on the pit, signals to the system that I have no more product left.
Getting on this bridge.
From this angle, it's a really hard weighbridge to get on, and there are always marks on the concrete here where drivers have scraped their bumper. I scan my card and weigh myself out, and then all I need to do is wait for my ticket.
I think the printer's gone a bit funny because my printout's a bit wrinkled.
I've heard from the office and I'm actually heading up to Portbury. Further up towards Portbury, the weather seems to be looking a lot better, and the roads are looking quite quiet. which is a good thing as I would like to get loaded tonight before they close. And it is going to be a little bit touch and go. When I pull off at Portbury, I have about 20 minutes before the weighbridge closes. When I get there, no one else is waiting, so I pop straight out and go and see the chap in the office. He checks my paperwork and tells me that I can go onto the weighbridge. Everything seems to be going a little too smoothly. Not that I'm complaining.
Hopefully, this will work.
And to my surprise, my numbers were right, which is unusual when everything else is going so well. I pull into the shed and I go and see the loader driver, who is already sat there waiting for me. And I'm guessing maybe because he wants to go home. I pull down to the bay that he's told me to go to, and he starts loading me straight away. Once the front is full, he gives me a little beep and I pull forward so he can load the back. Then he beeps again to tell me I'm done. So I put my sheet on and leave the shed and head towards the out weighbridge. There is somebody else on the weighbridge that I have to wait for, and he must have come in for a last minute load too. The best thing about going into somewhere an hour or less before closing time is that everybody's really efficient about getting you loaded and gone. I get my ticket from the weighbridge and I hand one copy to the gatehouse on the way out. This load is going down to Holsworthy, but I definitely know I'm not going to make it there tonight. I head out of the docks and onto the M5 going south. My plan is now to make it as far as I can in the time that I've got, and also stop for a quick shower en route.
I've just pulled up in Exeter Services. Going to go in, hopefully have a quick shower. Yes, the shower is free. This shower at Exeter is quite popular, so sometimes there is a bit of a wait for the shower, but today, thank goodness, it's free. And today, it actually seems to be working all right as well. Happy day. So much better for that. Walking all the way in there, having a shower, and coming all the way out, taking me 15 minutes exactly.
As much as the showers aren't that great out on the road, I always feel so much better for having one. I head out of the services and back onto the M5 going south, and it really seems like the weather cannot make up its mind today. I feel like I've had all 4 seasons in one day. At the end of the M5, I take the A30 and I follow it down all the way to Oakhampton, where I leave at Salton Cross and head towards Holsworthy. The roads towards Holsworthy are quite narrow and windy, but they are also full of some quite good scenery. I managed to pull into a nice little lay-by before my time runs out, and I'm pretty pleased with the day that I've had.
Tonight for tea, I've got some homemade tomato soup. I'm just going to stick that in the microwave. I've had a really good day today. I've got loads done, but I am just going to have my tea, have a cup of tea, and then I think I'm going to get into bed because I am absolutely shattered. 14-hour day and just under a 10-hour drive, and I'm definitely done for the day. Good night.